Hi, everybody. This is Paul in the 619, and this is Conversations with the Community. So, today I'm very excited to have the guest that I have today. It's Just Your Average Geeks, Dave. I've been a big fan of his for a while. I follow his Instagram page. I also watch his YouTube channel. If you are not subbed to his YouTube channel, you need to be subbed to him because he has some good content. Um, he likes pretty much looking at his IG page. He likes the stuff that I like, Transformers, GI Joe. Man, he even likes Robotech. I'm like, I don't know anybody that has more Robotech stuff than he does. So yeah, definitely a big fan of his. And on top of all that, he's a great supporter of the community. You probably see him. He's involved in comic curing cancer. I see that he supports that. He also supports the CBC awards. And you know what? He actually gives me love on my channel, and it's definitely appreciated. So before I just do a whole monologue, let's bring in Dave. What's up, Dave?
What's going on, man? How are
Well,
you?
good. First of all, I want to say thank you for spending time with us. I know you could be doing anything. It is like Friday night, bro. You know, you could be doing anything on Friday night, but you're actually here letting me do a one-on-one conversation. So I'm very thankful.
I'm grateful for you having me. You know, as you invited me, a while back, and I'm glad that you were able to keep the invitation open for me.
Oh, of course, dude. Dude, when you told me that you wanted to do the interview, you definitely made my week. I couldn't wait to get on here and do this. Let's just dive right into it. Okay, what are some of your earliest comic book memories?
uh, it would be going to the little conventions. Back in the day when the conventions were not these huge events. I
Uh-huh.
enjoyed going. We used to go actually up the road to the church by us, the church we used to go to in the basement. They used to have conventions down in there, and then some other places around town. We used to go there, and even going to the comic stores. I loved just going to the comic store and hanging out. It was just such a nice experience. Especially with getting the cards and opening up packs and seeing what I got, and
Yeah.
it was just a lot of fun with all that stuff.
Well, the thing is that I know you go to a few Comic Cons, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite one?
Right now, of the ones that I've been to, I would say honestly was Terrificon in Connecticut.
Hmm.
I went there last year, and it was really good because it's one of those cons where it was more comic book centric, and they had celebrities there. They had some good celebrities there, and but they were just like in the back, like they pushed them all the way to the back of the room. They were lined up back there, and then the majority of the show was really just like people selling comics and collectibles too. There's a lot of collectibles, but comics and then the comic creators and all. And I really met a lot of comic writers and artists there, and it was really that was really a joy to meet so many cool people like that, you know. But that's so far that's my favorite convention, and I'm hoping to go. I mean, my plan is to go again next month. So
Well, the thing is that I've heard a lot of good things about Terrificon. It's definitely on my bucket list of Comic Cons to go to. This year, I went to Heroes Con, and the way you're describing Terrificon, Heroes Con was very similar to that. I'm from San Diego, and this month is San Diego Comic Con. It's definitely changed throughout the years. It's more of a pop culture
yeah,
event rather than a comic convention, even though comic is connected to it.
yeah.
Um, but what I want to say is that there was one year you went to New York Comic Con, and there was a comic book that I was looking for.
Uh,
It was written by Scott Snyder and Matt Hardy. I wrote it down here. Arcbound.
Talk about
And
yep.
you said on IG that, yeah, I'm going to New York Comic Con, and I reached out to you, and I never really fully thanked you for getting that comic, because I know that it wasn't an easy task. But you went beyond. You went way out of your way to get that for me, and man, Dave, I love you for that, man. And that's the kind of guy you are, and you're definitely one of the good guys in the hobby. And I definitely I want people to know that, how awesome you are. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. It was kind of like you were like, no problem. And then like a week after the convention, yeah, I got some mail from you, and I was just like, oh my god, he delivered. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, I wanted to thank you for that, Dave. That was amazing.
Yeah, no problem, no problem at all.
So some titles that you collect: GI Joe, Transformers. You collect older Robotech issues. What else do you collect as far as comics?
Well, I actually just started getting a little crazy with it, collecting
Yeah.
more of the old stuff, some keys and stuff like that. I've been trying to get, like I recently got like the first Hobgoblin, um, and I got a couple of other books that probably that. I mean, I consider them like keys. To me, they're keys and grails, like the first James Bond and
Oh yeah.
in U.S. comics, first Lara Croft, things like that. Like I'm kind of honestly, when it comes to this, like I get into one thing for a little while, and then I just kind of like go all over the place. Like I stop it, and then I just start up with something else again. Like I'm just all over the place with it.
Yeah. No. No. Well, the thing is, there's as collectors of like superheroes and popular culture, it's, man, we're spoiled. There's so much out there, and you can't collect everything, but I know we try.
I try to remind myself of that a lot.
Yeah,
Especially recently, I started going a little crazy with stuff. Try to remind myself like, hey, you can't. Number one, you can't get it all, and number two, you can't get it all in one shot. Like give yourself a little time.
yeah.
The books will be there. It'll be there. You can get it another day. You don't have to get it right now. I try to remind myself of that.
So as far as comics, do you collect the floppies, the single issues? Do you collect graphic novels? Do you read comics digitally?
No, I don't.
Is that a thing?
I was thinking about doing it, to be honest,
Yeah.
but I just have not got around to it. Um, but yeah, mostly right now I'm collecting the single issues. I do have some trade paperbacks, like for some things, like Something Is Killing the Children,
Oh yeah, I have that
Geiger,
too. That's awesome. I have that too.
yeah, like that, like Geiger, really some really good ones like that I really liked. Um, I actually am gonna start like I'm trying to downsize a little bit, so I really did cut back a lot on my pull list. So right now I have a couple of series that I'm still getting issues, but like my OCD has me where I have to get to like a round number. So something like GI Joe is at
Yeah,
issue 8. I can't stop right now. I'm going to get to issue 10, and then I'm going to stop collecting it, and I'm going to start with trade paperbacks. After that, like a couple of series, I'm going to try and just do the trade paperbacks just to try and save a little bit of room and stuff because I'm just running out of room for
yeah.
all the
No,
books I
dude,
have. You know?
trust me, trust me. You know, like the thing is that my wife lets me collect whatever I could collect as long as I could keep it in this room. And I can't go this way, but I could go up. So I'm gonna be like a horror and it's gonna go to the ceiling. But on the subject of G.I. Joe, you met Larry Hama.
Yeah,
Where'd you meet
yeah.
where'd you meet Larry Hama?
I was at a local convention over here where I live. It's a small one, real small, packed into this aviation museum and such. And they really only had like a handful of guests that were actually going to be there. And he was at the top of my list. It was him and James O'Barr were at the top of my list, but James O'Barr ended up missing his flight, or his flight was canceled, something like that. So yeah, I got to meet Larry Hama, a great guy. It was really nice to finally meet him. I've always wanted to meet the guy because I like the GI Joe books and everything. So he's a legend.
Yeah. No, he's definitely, if you're into G.I. Joe, yeah, he's definitely on top of that list of people to meet. Um, as far as the original GI Joe run. They continued that run, right?
Yeah, when Image picked up, I think. Oh well, actually, I think yeah, Image is continuing it, and then did IDW continue it too? I think.
Yeah,
Right, they
IDW.
continued it. Yeah, they just kept
Yeah,
going, which is pretty. It's pretty amazing that they just kind of picked up like that. You don't really
yeah.
see that very often. It's usually volume 1 and then
Volume
volume
two.
2,
Oh,
volume
yeah.
3, you know.
Yeah. What Marvel does? Yeah, what Marvel does. Yeah,
Oh yeah, like every couple of months it's a new volume now, you know? Like you'll never see I feel like you'll never see like back in the day where you had, like 300 issues in a volume or something,
yeah.
you'll never
Unless you're
see
Spawn.
that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Spawn's the only one, right?
Okay,
That's
so
pretty amazing.
as far as like the CBC awards, like how'd you get involved in that?
Uh Well, I saw that there was, opportunities to like do the sponsorships, so
Yeah,
that's what I do. I've done it a couple of times now, and it's
yeah,
really just, I wanted to try and give back to the community and try and really support the community, and
yeah,
it's a really cool event. So I was like, if I have the opportunity to do it, let me just jump in there, and I just want to support any way that I can. I even send in. I usually send in some books too. Like I haven't done it yet, but
yeah,
probably like next month or when it gets closer to um, the actual award ceremony, I'll send in some books to Brian. He usually gives them out as like gifts and stuff like that, some
yeah.
prizes. So
Well, I've met Brian. I met him in person at Heroes Con, and yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Why wouldn't you get involved in something that he's in? Because, I mean, when he talks about, because he was actually when I started doing the conversations with the community, he was my first guest. I mean, you could see the passion that he has for that award. You know, because he has if I remember correctly, he said he had a background in uh, was it not I think he was like a what do you call it when you help people buy houses?
real estate agent.
Yeah, he was in real estate, and then they had a real estate award, and then he was like, why don't we don't have anything like that for comics? So he created it. And I know every year it gets bigger and bigger. And if with guys like you supporting it, you know what I mean? How can it go wrong? And the thing is that what I love about it is just it makes it connects a lot of people together. It's kind of like YouTube, as far as like there was like a lot of guys who love comic books but didn't have anyone to talk to about it. Now that when you have something like the CBC Awards, like the YouTube challenge and everything, it brings everybody together, and that's what I love about it.
Yeah, it's
Um,
absolutely amazing.
yeah, definitely. Let's see. So how'd you get into comics?
Into making the content, or
No, just comic books in general, just collecting comics.
uh, long time ago when I was a kid. I mean, really, it was probably from collecting the cards, I would say, because I was big into those old Marvel Universe cards.
Oh wow, yeah,
I was collecting those like crazy. I think I have like the first two. I think I have the first two sets fully, and then the other ones just like partial sets and stuff. But I think it was probably that, and just we had a couple of local comic shops, and going there and just seeing the stuff and just catching my eye. Just buying a couple books here and there. Like it was really random at first. I remember that. Like I have some random like ASM books that I just bought because the cover looked nice. I was like, a little kid,
okay,
and I was just like, ah, that's nice. Let me get it. But but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I would say the cards, and then the the animation really is what got me into like focus, like that really like focused me in on stuff. So like the X-Men cartoon, X-Men the animated series,
yeah,
when that came out, then I really like focused on collecting runs. Like that's when I focused on getting like the Jim Lee, Chris Claremont uh, X-Men series. Like I started getting that, and then
yeah,
Death of Superman came around, and it was like, all right, I jumped into that, getting the Death of Superman books. I didn't get all of them, but I got all the, like the Return of Superman. Like I thought those die cut covers were so cool and everything, and yeah, I got that, and then
Did you watch Superman yet?
I did, I saw it last night actually.
Oh, nice. What'd you think?
Yeah. uh, let's see.
Thumbs up,
Uh,
thumbs down. That's all I want. Thumbs up,
yeah,
thumbs down.
it honestly, I'm
No
gonna be in the
spoilers.
I'm in no, I'm not gonna say anything
No,
about
that's
the
fine.
story, but I'm definitely gonna be in the minority when I say that, like, it wasn't a bad movie, but to me, it was just an okay movie.
Okay,
I just didn't feel like
fair.
I didn't feel like it was great, but I didn't think it was bad either.
Okay,
So, yeah.
cool. Yeah, I'm gonna see it tomorrow night
Okay.
with the wife. So but
Yeah,
no, yeah,
you'll definitely enjoy it, Yeah,
yeah,
it's one of those things, like, I'm not trying to say don't go see it or anything like that. I would never tell
yeah, yeah,
anybody not to see it.
yeah.
I just feel like it was just an okay movie, but,
That's
a lot
good.
of people love
Fair.
it, and that's great.
Yeah, that's cool.
I hope it
That's
does
cool.
well. I hope it does well in the box
I think
office,
it will. I think just the name alone, Superman, people are just gonna watch it. Fortunately, man, that one movie that came out, that Marvel movie. I'm sorry, I just forgot what it was called.
With the Captain America?
No, no, not Captain America. The one after the team,
Oh, Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Sorry,
Thunderbolts, yeah.
Thunderbolts. That movie was amazing. But as far as like numbers at the theater, it bombed, and it
Yeah.
was a great. My opinion, it was a great movie. I wish more people went out to go see it. Um, yeah, it's just weird. It's weird, you know, what people will see and won't people won't see. Because I know comic book people saw it, but as far as like the casual like moviegoer,
Yeah.
we didn't get they didn't get that crowd.
That's probably a lot of this there's probably a lot of comic book movie or superhero fatigue going on right now
Yeah.
too, I would think. This just it's been going for so long now. So many movies.
Well,
Yeah.
we've been lucky, man. We've been, that's the thing. As far as like being a collector of comic books and seeing your guys you read in comics for years to all of a sudden jump on the screen. That's to me. I don't know. I don't have comic book fatigue, but I can see where that's coming from. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
definitely for the general public, I would think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely. Um, yeah. So this is kind of a question that you thought I asked earlier, but I am going to ask it. Who or what inspired you to do comic book content on YouTube?
Well, that really just came from the channel. You know, the channel was something that me and my two other friends, James and Jay, came up with. You know, we wanted to create this channel on YouTube, and then I was the big comic book person, so I wanted to incorporate comics into the channel, and we took a little hiatus and stuff. Schedules and stuff just so tough to align at times. So I started making the comic book content, and you know, thankfully I ran into some people like Brian LCS and you and people like A Surfer and other people that really started coming to the videos and like brought me into this community. One of the major things really too was also one of the reasons why we created the channel was we wanted a place where like we could interact and meet people who had the same hobbies as us, and
Yeah.
felt the same way as we did about different things like that. But also a place that was we wanted a channel that was like free of drama, because a lot of
Yes.
times at that time when you would go on YouTube, like a lot of the stuff that you would see is like stuff that people were talking. It was all drama stuff, people talking about politics of this, politics of that, right, left, whatever.
Oh
And
yeah.
it was just all drama. And it was like I'm sick of it. I don't want to see this. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why we created the channel and why I wanted to do comic book content too. It was just like something that didn't have anything to do with all that nonsense.
Yeah. Well, I've seen those old videos. Where'd you guys get that setup? That's like you guys are like professionals. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, that
How'd
was
you get
like the
that?
one day when we decided to just do it, we went online, and it was the store B&H, store in Manhattan. They had a special there, and it was like a whole setup where we get enough equipment for four people, in terms of like mics and headsets and stuff. And so we ordered that, and then we got the Roadcaster thing for recording and uh, you know moving the all the sound and stuff to connecting it to the laptop and everything. So we dove right into it head first.
Oh my god, the production value was like, oh my god. Cause yeah, I'd see that and I go, where did they get this setup? This setup is amazing. Because a lot of the stuff I do on my phone, and then like my computer setup is not bad, but not nothing like the level you guys were at. I was just like, wow, that's crazy. But no, hopefully you guys, I don't know where you guys are at as far as like doing it again, but man, that was like, dude, that was primo stuff, man. That was really
Thank
good.
you, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so as far as like characters that you relate to personally, what comic book, cartoon, movie, or character in literature do you relate to the most?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
um, I'd have to say, I don't know. It's kind of like I don't want to sound ridiculous, but like kind of
No.
Superman in a way. Like
Okay.
I don't think I'm Superman. By any stretch of the imagination. But I would say like the way he is in terms of truth, justice, and the American way, right? That slogan is
Yeah.
something that has always stuck with me like my whole life, and like I believe in. And his the whole thing of him being like kind of like a Boy Scout, right? Where he's just like he has that moral compass, and it's like it's got to be right. It's got to be like the right way. We got to do things the right way, and not we're not going to take like a shortcut, even though that might be like quicker or whatever or easier. We're going to do things the right way, and like that's sort of it's like the sort of like the mentality that I have. Like I have, I got to do things the right way, and like honesty, believing in honesty, and just you know that and doing the right thing. That's like just that's just how I am and how I feel. So that's how I definitely relate to that, the way he is, the way he
Love it,
thinks
man.
and stuff.
Great answer. Great answer. Oh my gosh. That was awesome. Um, okay, so I know you collect comics. I know you collect toys. So what else do you collect besides comics and maybe toys? Is there anything else out there?
Yeah, too much, too many things.
Too
everybody
many
calls
to
me
list.
everybody called me a hoarder. Um, yeah, I mean, like I got statues, the
Yeah,
cards. I really just started getting back into the cards.
nice,
Um, Autographs. I mean, like I have a huge autograph collection from
awesome.
conventions that I went to like years ago. I used to go big Star Trek fan, so I have big Star Trek
Okay,
collection. So I have like binders of Star Trek autographs and stuff like that.
nice.
And then uh, other comic book related ones. Also, video games I collect a little bit here and there. I've been trying to get some of the old stuff, but it's just like I feel like it's getting a little too expensive at times. And it's kind of like my passion's more
Everything's
towards
expensive.
comics right now, so
Yeah,
I'd rather
dude,
put the money
eggs
towards
are
that.
expensive. Eggs are expensive. Everything's expensive. Yeah, yeah. You're right about that.
but
Um,
yeah.
so as far as goals for this year, did you make any comic book goals for this year? And have you achieved any of those goals or close to achieving?
Oh yeah. Well, as far as collecting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I set up a few goals earlier in the year. Actually, I didn't even like really even think of it on my own. It was Alex Big Blue, part of the community. He put up like a little challenge thing, like, hey, tell me your collecting goals for the year. It could be comics, could be anything, and all. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Let me try and like zero in on some things rather than just like grab this, grab that, whatever I see. And yeah, I actually did. I had a couple of books that I said I was going to get, and I got them. So,
Nice.
so thankfully, a little more than halfway through the year, and I already got them, so I can move on to some other stuff.
So you've met a lot of writers and artists in person. Is there any writers or artists that you haven't met already that you want to meet?
Let's see. Um, I would say like well, one guy I don't think he's not really around here, so I mean I don't know exactly where he is, but like Simon Kudransky is a guy that I would like to meet. He's done One Man Art, I believe is his studio name. He's part of Image. His books
Okay.
come out through Image, and
Nice.
just a fantastic artist and writer. So like I wish that there would be some way to actually be able to meet him because I love his work. He's one of those guys that like if I see his name on something, I'm just gonna pick it up. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pre-order it and all. Um, but yeah, he's definitely one. And I would like to meet J. Scott Campbell. I think that
Just
that
got
would be
Campbell.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those would
No, that's
probably be
cool.
like the top two for me right now.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Um, who's your favorite comic book character?
Well, Cyclops would be my favorite comic book character. Like
No, you're lying. You're lying.
Him and Superman are towards at the top there, but I always lean more towards Cyclops.
Ooh, dude, I knew why we were friends, bro. Yeah, you
Oh,
know
you
what?
too?
Yeah, he's my favorite. And you know the funny thing is, everybody shits on him, but he has like the hardest job. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And he's kind of like Superman. He puts all the responsibility on his shoulders when he doesn't have to, but he does anyways. And he
Yeah.
feels responsible for every mutant on the team. Dude, I knew why we liked each other. It's like, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
Um,
he's definitely my top guy.
all right, cool. So I have two more questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as far as the hobby, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
uh, oh, that's a good question. I never really thought of it, to be honest. um,
What about
Probably
10
just
years? 10 years.
probably doing a lot of the same stuff, really, to be honest. Just Trying to probably still be trying to collect the some of the big big keys and grails that are out there. Still trying to save up for those probably. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm not sure to be honest. You got me on that one, man.
No, that's okay.
I never really thought about it. I think that's one of my things. Like I need to do better with is like thinking a little bit more, thinking ahead a little bit more rather than thinking in the here and the now. Like I really think more here and now rather than ahead a lot of times. So that's something I definitely like personally have to work on.
Nice. Okay, so you know everybody has reasons why they're in the hobby. But for you personally, why do you like collecting comics?
I like them. I like the art and I like the stories and such. More particularly the older books, but also when it comes to like modern stuff, or well, not I shouldn't say modern because modern age is so long, but I mean
Yeah,
more like now. I mean, like when it comes to like now, like I mean, I don't read Marvel and DC right now. I read just indie stuff. So
yeah.
like Image Comics really is like that's what I buy, and I love that stuff, and I love the way that a lot of them are like kind of like these short arcs, and then sometimes some of them like they take a little bit of a break and then they come back with a little more, and then some of them like the writing and the art is just so fantastic and such, and it's a escapism. It's a little escape from reality for a little while. I come down here in the little Dave cave, a couple times and just sit there and I can just read, and like time flies, and it's just like nice to just be able to sit and read and not have to think about everything upstairs and outside. You know what I mean?
Well, you did say earlier, when you started doing that show with your friends, that there was a lot of content or other things out there. It was just, a lot of drama, a lot of you know things you're not really into. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and that's what I like what you said about the comic books, because that's how I feel. It's definitely an escape. It's my happy place. You know what I mean? Um, uh, See, I live on one story house, so there's no upstairs, downstairs. But as far as like when I'm in this room reading a comic, I'm in my own little world, and all the problems are out there. You know what I mean? I mean, they're not
Yeah.
gonna go away, and
Yeah.
when I get out there, I'm gonna tackle them. But for right now, it's about me, and yeah. Well, anyways, but
It's a little bit of time to just decompress. You can
yeah,
decompress a little bit and just if you just everybody needs to just get away from everything just a little bit here and there. It's nice to be able to do that for even if it's just for a few minutes. You come down and open up a book and you know just dive into that and just escape for a little bit.
yeah, most definitely. So, okay, so we're gonna kind of end it here.
Okay.
We're at 35 minutes, bro. I told you
It goes by
20,
so
30 minutes.
fast.
We could talk for another like 30, 35 minutes easily. I only hit like half these questions. It's been so enjoyable to talk to you, Dave, and I really appreciate you um taking some time to talk to me, bro. And I'm so excited that you told me that you wanted me to interview, and I'm very grateful. Is there anything that you want to plug before we get out of here?
uh no, not really. Nothing coming up really. So
Okay.
it's all good. Hopefully, I'll just say hopefully everybody that's watching this should be subbed up to Paul and the 619's channel. All right,
Oh,
and
look at this
checking
guy.
out this awesome dude's content. So that's what I have to say.
All right.
Hopefully,
Well,
everybody watching this is a subscriber to your channel.
wow. So, well, this is another amazing one-on-one conversation. Again, I want to thank my special guest, just your average geeks, Dave. Dave, thank you so much. Everyone, peace. I love you guys. Everyone, take care and have a good one.
Take care.